was downtown, miles away from the war zone that raised him. A luxury shopping trip in Chicago's Gold Coast. Broad daylight, traffic moving, boutiques open, tourists snapping selfies. But at exactly 1:57 p.m., the street turned into a crime scene. Two black SUVs pulled up. Doors swung open. 6 men jumped out with pistols and rifles. And within seconds, FBG Duck, one of Chicago's most notorious drill rappers, was riddled with 16 bullets. His girlfriend and a bystander wounded. The shooters fled without a trace, but the police already knew where to look. The trail led back to a single city block, a place where street legends are born and buried. A name whispered in rap songs, feared in courtrooms, and immortalized in blood. This is the story of O Block, America's most feared street, and the legends it created. They called it O Block. But on the map, it's just the 6,400 block of South King Drive, a stretch of pavement in Chicago's South Side, lined by aging brick towers and barbed fences. To outsiders, it looked like just another forgotten housing complex. But inside, it was a world of its own, a breeding ground for war, loyalty, talent, and tragedy. This is the story of O Block, America's most feared street, and the legends it created. This was Parkway Gardens, once a symbol of post-war hope, now the most feared block in America, a place where drill music was born, where rap superstars like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and King Von found their voices, and where bodies dropped as quickly as mixtapes. In just one decade, this block became a cultural phenomenon. It changed hip-hop, it changed street politics, and it became the epicenter of a war between the black disciples of O Block and their rivals across the boulevard. By 2014, the Chicago Sun-Times reported this single stretch of pavement had more shootings than any other block in the city. 19 people shot between 2011 and 2014, 19 lives, 19 stories. So how did this happen? How did a low-income housing project produce Billboard charting artists and federal murder indictments? Who were the real people behind the lyrics, the guns, and the headlines? What made them stars, and what got them killed? This isn't just a story about crime, it's a story about survival, about how the music industry, poverty, loyalty, and war collided, all on one block. This is the rise and fall of O Block. Before it was O Block, it was Parkway Gardens. Built in the 1950s, Parkway was supposed to be a promise, safe, affordable housing for working-class black families. Even a young Michelle Obama lived here as a child. But by the 2000s, the promise had collapsed. Abandoned units, boarded up schools, no jobs, no hope. The community was left behind, and the streets filled the void. In the shadows of those towers, a new generation was coming up. Kids with nothing to lose, kids like Davon Bennett, better known later as King Von. Born in 1994, he was raised by a single mother, his father in and out of prison before being murdered when Von was just a boy. By age 16, Von had caught his first gun charge. Not long after, he was facing murder allegations, cases that would define his life and his lyrics. But Von wasn't alone. Down the block, another teenager named Keith Cozart, Chief Keef, was making music on a borrowed laptop, rapping about shootouts, jail time, and the streets that raised him. His breakout single, I Don't Like, would explode onto the internet in 2012, reshaping hip-hop forever. This wasn't radio rap, this was drill, a new subgenre born out of pain, paranoia, and poverty. Drill music didn't just describe violence, it predicted it. Every lyric was a coded message. Every video was a declaration of territory. And the territory? That was everything. O Block, the renamed stretch of Parkway Gardens, took its name in 2011 after Odie Perry, a young member of the Black Disciples, was gunned down. In his honor, the block was rebranded O Block. From that moment, it wasn't just a place. It was a flag, a brand, a gang, a movement. Across King Drive, their enemies watched. The gangster disciples, known as GDs, controlled the east side. The tension between BDs and GDs went back decades, but now, with social media and drill music as weapons, the war was louder and deadlier. Young artists like FBG Duck, a GD from the opposing side, used music to taunt O Block by name. His track, Dead Bitches, called out the dead one by one. The response from O-Block was swift. King Von fired back with, "Took her to the O," referencing not just his block, but the mindset it carried. But these weren't just diss tracks, these were battle cries. Von would later be accused of placing a bounty on FBG Duck. Duck's mother said her son lived in fear during his final weeks, not afraid of fame, but of retaliation. And the retaliation wouldn't just come in lyrics. By 2014, police labeled Parkway Gardens the most dangerous block in Chicago. 19 shootings, dozens of bodies, and a generation of young men, barely old enough to drive, already burying friends, dodging indictments, and signing record deals. The lines between music, gang life, and survival had all but vanished. And the block at the center of it all was O-Block. What happened next? What happened next would shake Chicago to its core. August 4, 2020, 1:37 p.m., Chicago's Gold Coast. FBG Duck, real name Carlton Weekly, walks down Oak Street with his girlfriend. It's a sunny Tuesday. Shops are open. Tourists roam the sidewalks. Duck is browsing upscale boutiques, unaware that his enemies are watching. Across the street, a lookout, later identified as O-Block affiliate Marcus Turpin-Smart, spots him. He texts the crew. The message spreads fast. By 1:44 p.m., two black vehicles, a Chrysler 300 and a Ford Fusion, pull out of Parkway Gardens. Their destination? Oak Street, a 10-mile ride, planned with military precision. In those cars, 6 men, all from O-Block, armed, ready. They arrive just before 2 p.m. The lookout confirms Duck is still inside. The hit is on. The doors swing open. The gunmen flood out. In 20 seconds, 38 shots are fired. Duck is hit 16 times, in the chest, groin, neck. His girlfriend takes a bullet. A bystander collapses with a shattered leg. The shooters vanish, just like that. Back into the vehicles, back to the south side. It's a daylight assassination in Chicago's wealthiest district. But detectives waste no time. License plate readers track both cars from Oak Street back to O-Block. The FBI steps in. They find music videos, phone records, Instagram messages, all of it pointing to a gang hit ordered by the leadership of O-Block's Black disciples. The world sees a murder, but the feds see a conspiracy. Just 3 months later, the shooter becomes the victim. November 6, 2020, Atlanta, Georgia, 3:15 a.m. King Von, fresh off the release of his debut album, Welcome to O-Block, is outside Monaco Hookah Lounge. A fight breaks out, words are exchanged, punches thrown. Von confronts a rival, an affiliate of rapper Quando Rondo. Then, chaos. Von is shot in the chest, twice. His team returns fire. An off-duty cop fires back. By the time the dust settles, King Von is on the ground, bleeding out. He's rushed to the hospital, but he doesn't make it. He's pronounced dead at 4:04 a.m. He was just 26 years old. In less than 100 days, Chicago loses 2 of its most notorious drill stars, both victims, both once seen as predators, both raised on opposite ends of the same war. FBG Duck died after taunting O-Block in lyrics and videos. Von died while celebrating the album that made his block famous. The irony is haunting. The news spreads like wildfire. Lil Durk, Von's mentor and closest friend, breaks down on Instagram, "My twin gone. The city grieves." The internet speculates, fans mourn, rivals laugh, and families are left shattered. By 2021, the feds make it official. In a sweeping RICO indictment, 6 O-Block members are charged in FBG Duck's murder. Prosecutors say this wasn't just revenge, it was gang business. They cite lyrics, music videos, Instagram messages, surveillance. Even the trip from Parkway Gardens to the crime scene is laid out minute by minute. A single moment stands out. One line buried in an unreleased verse from Von surfaces. "Put a bag on his head, I ain't got to do it." In court, prosecutors allege King Von offered a bounty for Duck's life, $100,000, reduced to $50K once the plan was set. Von didn't pull the trigger, but the streets say he signed the check. The story could have ended there, but it didn't. O-Block would lose more names. In 2025, another shooting, this time in Edgewater, claimed the life of Munna Vance, an O-Block leader and Vaughn's close associate. He was wearing the same custom O-Block diamond chain that Vaughn paid $128,000 for, a symbol of loyalty and a target. From Chicago to Atlanta, from Parkway to prison, the bodies kept falling. And behind the headlines, one question echoed louder each time a bullet dropped. Where does the music end and the war begin? It didn't take long for the streets to go quiet and for the feds to move in. In October 2021, just over a year after the brazen assassination of FBG Duck in broad daylight, federal agents and Chicago police executed a coordinated operation against O-Block. 5 O-Block affiliates were arrested and charged with federal racketeering and murder. The 6th would come later. All were accused of playing roles in a criminal enterprise run out of Parkway Gardens, a set of the Black disciples known for violence, armed drug sales, and revenge killings. Prosecutors called it organized crime. The structure resembled a business with ranks, meetings, and consequences for disloyalty. The goal? Maintain control of O-Block, eliminate rivals, and glorify the lifestyle through music and media. The indictment named names. Defendants included Seething, Muwop, and others, all rising figures in the drill scene, all now facing life behind bars. But what shook the courtroom more than the names was the evidence. Phone records, Instagram DMs, license plate trackers, surveillance from Parkway Gardens showing the shooters leaving in tandem toward Oak Street. One by one, federal agents laid it out. This was a premeditated hit, motivated by FBG Duck's repeated public disrespect of O-Block in music videos. It wasn't just beef, it was business. Even King Von, though dead, was named in court as a financier of the operation. Prosecutors alleged he put $100,000 on Duck's head. When plans stalled, the offer dropped to $50,000. The hit moved forward. On January 29, 2024, after a high-profile trial and weeks of testimony, all 6 men were convicted of racketeering and murder. The courtroom was tense. No tears, just nods. Their fate sealed. And she was right, because O-Block's story still wasn't done. On a hot Saturday night in July 2025, another headline hit the city. Munna Vance, a known leader in the O-Block crew and longtime associate of King Von, was ambushed outside a barbecue restaurant in Chicago's Edgewater neighborhood. He and another man were gunned down around 1:20 a.m. The gunman fired over 20 shots. Both victims were pronounced dead at the scene. Munna had been wearing Vaughn's signature diamond O-Block pendant, the same chain prosecutors said Vaughn paid $128,000 for to cement loyalty in the gang. This wasn't just another killing, it was symbolic. The chain that once crowned the pride of O-Block was now drenched in blood, again. With Vaughn gone, Duck gone, Munna murdered, and the rest behind bars, the leadership of O-Block was shattered. Parkway Gardens remained standing, the concrete towers still looming over South King Drive, but the aura had changed. What was once the epicenter of Chicago's drill wave was now a reminder of what happens when art, war, and legacy collide. The neighborhood tried to move forward, but the ghosts were everywhere. But the question still echoes, in the courtrooms, in the lyrics, and in the lives left behind. Did O-Block make them legends, or did it destroy them? Parkway Gardens still stands. The gates are still locked, the building's still tall, the memory's still fresh. To the outside world, it's just a housing complex. But to those who lived it and lost to it, O-Block was never just concrete. It was a code, a curse, a crown. For King Von, it was home. For Duck, it was a battlefield. For Munna it was the end. They rapped about it, bled for it, died with its name still in their mouths. O-Block created stars, but the spotlight came with shadows. King Von's music hit Billboard charts. Chief Keef changed the sound of a generation. Lil Durk found global fame. But for every song that went viral, someone else went silent. A mother grieving, a funeral posted live, another mugshot, another mural. The music gave them voices, but the streets gave them pain. And in the end, they couldn't escape either one. Was Von a villain or a victim? Did Duck's defiance make him fearless or doomed? Were they rapping about violence or trapped inside it? Maybe they were all just trying to survive the only way they knew how. What's left now is memory, lyrics that echo in headphones, chains that glitter in videos, and families forever broken. No matter who you blame, the war didn't end with a truce. It ended with silence, with prison cells, with caskets. And somewhere behind those Parkway towers, a new 16-year-old is writing his first verse, maybe about loyalty, maybe about loss. But for those who lived the full story, who saw O Block rise and fall, the music will never sound the same again. This wasn't just a block. It was a battleground, a brand, a burial ground. And for the legends it created, the ones who loved it, repped it, died for it, O Block was everything. And in the end, that's what destroyed them.